Hey guys, welcome back to Fairwinds RV, and for those of you who have never joined us before, my name is Jeremy. So today I'm going to bring you an update on a couple of products that we just believe that every RVer should have. And what I'm talking about here is our Govee water sensors and our Govee temperature sensors. Now, full disclosure, we are affiliates with Govee and we're affiliates with Amazon, but that has zero bearing on why I'm talking about those two products today. The reason that I'm talking about them is because they have saved my butt more than once. I just had a leak behind my wet bay, and my water sensors immediately alerted me to what was going on there to let me know that I was about to have a serious problem. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've actually done a couple of videos similar to this. So the first one was when we installed a smart water valve on our RV that will shut the water off and turn it back on when we leave and return to the rig, and it does it automatically. The second video I did was just basically on smart automation for your RV, and what we did was basically tie our Govee smart water sensors into our smart water valve so that anytime one of those sensors, and I've got 8 of them all throughout the rig, anytime one of them detects a leak, it shoots a signal over to that smart water valve, completely shutting the water off to the rig. Now, I don't know about you, but that really gives me some peace of mind knowing that if I do have a leak, I won't have it for very long. Because like I've said in the past, we have seen our fair share of flooded out RVs where literally the water is pouring out from their pass-through area. That's not something that I ever want to deal with. So whether it's a Govee product or not, I don't really care, to be honest with you. We just believe that having water sensors inside of your RV can really prevent a lot of headaches for you guys down the road. So just a little background on what happened this morning real briefly. I got the alarm. I got a notification on my phone. My water shut itself automatically. So I had to go into the pass-through, had to take the back wall off of it so I could access the backside of the wet bay. And what I found was I had kind of a slow drip back there. And I've got that water sensor located kind of on the floor back there, really where all of that plumbing kind of comes together. I think if I'm gonna get a leak in here somewhere, if some connection is gonna come loose, it's probably gonna be back there. And guess what? This is, I think, the third, maybe even the fourth time that I've had a leak back there. So I think that's probably a good choice for a water sensor. So anyway, what I found was that I've got just a small leak coming from one of my hot water lines. I'm not quite sure why it does it. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's definitely one of the reasons I put that sensor back there. I'd say it probably happens once every couple of months. It puts maybe just about, I don't know, a half an ounce of water back there before that water sensor picks it up and alerts me. Now, because we're getting ready to trade this sucker in, it's not something that I don't think it's worth my time and effort to fix. So I'll just keep that water sensor back there and it'll let me know if it happens again. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about was the Govee temperature sensors that we recently purchased. So I was kind of a little bit disappointed in these things because they say that they're compatible with the Amazon smart devices. I'm not going to say her name because she's going to start talking to me. But in reality, you can basically only see what the humidity level is. There's not a whole lot of functionality there between Govee and Amazon. But I did decide to keep these things because it allows me to remotely monitor different temperatures all throughout my RV. I've got one just inside of the RV. I've got one on top of one of my gray tanks. I've got one in the pass-through. I have one that's just kind of up underneath of the RV to let me know what's going on down there. And then I've got one up underneath of the cap that's all skirted off, and that's where my propane tanks are. So I've got several of these things all over the rig, and it's really providing me some good data. For example, about 2 nights ago, we had the coldest overnight temperature that we've had so far this winter. Now, I know there are probably more colder nights to come, but I just wanted to kind of use this one as an example because that's what I've got for now. So I woke up at about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yellow.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
Wake-up call?
And it was about 18 degrees outside, and I just kind of wanted to walk you guys through here what I saw on all of my different sensors. So what I'm looking at here is just a screenshot of all the different sensors that I had online that morning. So I'm just going to go top to bottom here. The one in the underbelly, and this one is just sitting right underneath of the campside kitchen slide, just behind the skirt. There's no insulation down there. It's just sitting behind that skirt, and it was reading about 33 degrees. Now that's pretty good considering it was 18 degrees outside, and the only thing that was between the sensor and the outside elements was the skirt, which is really kind of my overall point here about how much those skirts help. If you guys watched one of our recent videos, it was all about how to prepare for living in one of these things over the winter, not winterizing it, but preparing to actually live in it. And the skirting is one of the most important things that you can do. So I wanted to provide some data about that. So 18 degrees outside, 33 degrees up underneath of the underbelly. All right, next I'm looking here at the basement, and that one's reading about almost 57 degrees. Now, I would expect it to be a little bit warmer in there because we do actually have a vent duct that runs through there. I have the vent taped off, so it's not actually blowing any hot air down there, but just having that vent duct in there really helps out a lot. Now, the next one here is the tank thermometer, and like I said, it's just sitting on top of one of the gray tanks, and that thing was reading about 65 degrees. So again, there's just a lot of heat still being retained up underneath of that RV, and a lot of that is because we've got that skirt on there. All right, next I have, it says propane thermometer. So again, that's underneath my cap. That is skirted off as well, because like I said before in a previous video, if you let those tanks get too cold, you could have some issues with your furnace. Okay, and then the last one on here is just the RV thermometer. That's just the inside temperature of the RV, you know, so I can monitor that wherever I go. So that's just a quick look at basically how I'm using all of these Govee sensors. I think that number one, the water sensors are a must-have no matter who you get them from. I really think you need to have water sensors in several different places in your RV. We've got 8 of them. We've got 3 in the kitchen. We've got 2 in the bathroom. We have 2 in the pass-through, and then I've got the one behind the wet bay. So basically, anywhere I could possibly have a leak in this RV, I also have a water sensor. And then I think that the data that you can get from these temperature sensors is also invaluable. Now, I don't think that you really have to have the sensors that you can monitor from your phone, but I do think it's just a really good idea, because there may be times where we leave the rig for a couple of days. We may go down to visit our daughter, and during those times, I want to be able to see what's going on here. I want to know what's going on specifically up underneath of the rig to just make sure that I'm not going to have anything freeze that shouldn't be frozen. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this video. Again, I just wanted to bring these updates to you to show you how useful these little gadgets have been to us. And I just wanted to communicate to you, how we are using them. Again, like I say in all my videos, it's not about how I'm using them. It's really just about providing you guys with ideas and possibly even showing you some things that maybe you haven't thought about yet, how you can use these types of devices or ideas to fit your specific situations. Well, that's all I've got. Once again, if you guys like this video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. More importantly, hit that subscribe button so that you get notified of all of our future videos. And as always, happy camping and stay safe out there, guys.